I bet that's Rom. Cassie covered her mouth as the smoke thickened.
Let's get out of here before the fire engulfs us, Cassie.
Luke coughed again.
She nodded, feeling her lungs burning. They raced down the hallway past the flames to the front door. One of Wade's buddies tried to jump her, but Luke shot him between the eyes, sending him to the floor. She turned to Luke. It's my turn to say you saved my life. We take care of each other, but we better get out of here. They rushed to the front door. When they got outside, they found Rom standing over the body of Wade's other accomplice. Any more of these buggers around? Luke shook his head. Cassie took out one inside that had an axe aimed at my back. Rom's eyebrow shot up. Impressive. Luke took out the other. She coughed, trying to expel the smoke from her lungs. And it's pretty clear you finished off the last one. We all did our part today, Cassandra. Shouldn't we be leaving now? She looked toward the street. There might be other black masks coming. Current intel shows there are no more in the area, Rom said. We've got about a half hour before we need to go. That'll give me time to tie everything up. That's a relief. She turned to Luke. The stain on his shirt she'd seen on the monitor was bigger than before. Do you realize you've been shot? You need medical attention. All in a day's work. He shrugged, adding a cough to his extremely calm speech. We need to get you blood, Luke. Rom walked to his BMW, which was parked beside Luke's van. And Cassie, too. Me? She remembered all the times her mother had given her blood as if it were medicine. Yes, you, Luke said. It will help your lungs heal faster. Mom never told me why human blood works on our kind the way it does. Cassie still had no idea how to put these strange truths into words. Rom returned with 2 bags of blood, handing one to her and the other to Luke. It's because how Morvicti evolved alongside Homo sapiens. Luke took a sip. There's a symbiotic relationship between our species. And I'm a product of both species, half human, half Morvicti. She coughed again and stared at the bag in her hand. So where does the blood come from? We collect it through many channels, blood banks, hospitals. Luke took another sip and the color in his face deepened. I'm sure this is a lot to take in, Cassie. Rom gazed into the flames. You'll have plenty of time to learn all about us. You've had blood before, haven't you? Luke asked. When I was a child. She stared at the bag in her hand. Drink. It will make you feel better. She hated to ask, but her need to know was more important than ever. Do the Morvicti ever kill humans for blood? We aren't murderers, Cassie, Luke said. We believe all life, whether human or Morvicti, is sacred. She stared at the unmoving body lying at Rom's feet. But not the Brotherhood. They have no qualms when it comes to killing. Rom nodded. They are fringe fanatics. Feeling the need to cough again, she closed her eyes and took a sip. Instantly, she felt her lungs clearing. Mom was right about the blood, too. Luke, what happened to the guys in the other black SUV? There were only 2 in that van. It was easy to handle them. They are up the road. Only 2? Rom chuckled, bringing out his phone. You always downplay your heroism, cousin. I'm a Drake, just like you. That's what we do. Yes, it is. Rom bent down and checked the fallen man's pulse. I need to call the cleanup crew. I have them on standby. Very astute of you. Luke bowed in front of Rom, which puzzled her. My apologies, my lord, for this mess. None of that formality here, cousin, Rom said. Please. Luke sent her a quick, secretive wink. As you wish, my lord. Rom groaned and then began talking into his phone. How close are you? Good. We have 6 bodies at Lucretus's home that need to be transported to the sanctuary of the Forgotten. Isn't it 7 bodies? She asked Luke quietly, counting my mother. And what's the sanctuary of the Forgotten? A place the Morvicti send criminals. But your mom is coming with us, Cassie. Oh God, I forgot. I've got a funeral to plan. I don't know how I will ever be able to repay you for all you've done for me. Repay? You're my niece. We are family. You're my uncle? He pulled her in for a hug. I am. Your mom is my sister. Is? He's having trouble accepting the fact Mom is gone too. Rom ended his call and patted Luke on the back. I'm glad we were able to protect your niece. Even if she's a half-blood? Cassie's voice was a whisper as she watched the flames and smoke now pouring out of every window. And the one who caused Luke's home to be destroyed. Pure blood, half-blood, human blood, I don't care. All that matters to me is that we are blood. Rom put his arm around her shoulder. And concerning Luke's house, you didn't cause this, Cassie. The Brotherhood did. Houses can be replaced and rebuilt. Luke's kind eyes made her feel a little better. Besides, my work here is done. I've been checking on you and your mother since you were born. Now I will return to my home in London. But where will I go? She wondered once again about what her life ahead was going to be without Mom. The Brotherhood wants me dead. You will come back to London with me and Rom. My mother told me so much about the Morvicti, and not all of it is good. That's why we had to live in hiding my entire life.
Prejudice still exists, Cassie. Luke closed his eyes.
My own daughter, Irina, was killed by the Brotherhood for having loved a human. She thought about her mother's pet goat that had been named for Luke's daughter. I will keep you safe until the laws are changed, he promised. And so will my brother and I, Rom added. The Brotherhood is a fringe group, radical in their ancient religion. Our beliefs have changed, and when the Brotherhood breaks our laws, they are brought to justice, as these men here have been. I remember my mother telling me how it is now a crime to kill half-bloods like me. She could still hear her gentle voice, a time when Cassie was still young and willing to listen to her stories. But that hasn't changed everything. Even the Morvicti who don't want me dead still won't ever accept me as one of their own. I accept you, Cassie. Luke placed his hands on her shoulders and locked his gaze with hers. You are one of us, no matter what our laws say. Rom stood next to Luke. And I accept you too, Cassandra. You will come with us to London. Meet my brother, the king. Your brother is king of the Morvicti? Yes. You will be safe with us. Trust me. I trust both of you, but I'm afraid. Can you understand that? I really don't have any other choice but to go with you. I can't go back to my old life. That's impossible, not just because of the warrant that will certainly be issued on me for leaving town, but because I know the truth of who I really am and where I came from. I don't know what lies ahead, but I don't want to bring any more danger to your families. You are my family, Cassie. Luke looked at her very seriously. You are a Drake. That's your real surname. You are Cassandra Lee Drake. Your mother changed her last name when she became pregnant and moved to Mertzen to remain off the Brotherhood's radar. It's all so surreal, she confessed. Everything Mom told me was true, but she never told me that I was related to a king, only to Roxana. I left my mother's painting of her behind. Luke, the fire has destroyed your portrait of her. She was so different in our picture. No crown, just a ribbon. Was Roxana a queen? Yes, Cassie, she's my grandmother. Rom's pride for Roxana was evident. As well as mine and your mother's great-aunt, Luke added. I'm related to a queen? So Roxana really is my great-great-aunt? Correct. You're a Drake, just like Luke said. Rom stated firmly. We protect each other no matter what it takes. I wish I could have gotten my mother's painting and her other things. Luke grabbed her hands and squeezed. Don't worry, Cassie. Our people are making sure all your belongings are out of your apartment and your mother's house. We'll take care of everything. This may sound crazy, but will you ask them to get Mom's black goat? Her name is Irina. I'm not surprised your mother named her after my sweet daughter. Luke's eyes welled up and he smiled. Don't worry, I'm sure Irina is being taken care of. Well, you may not be surprised, Luke, but I am, Rom said, obviously trying to lighten the mood. You have another daughter. Serafina should have had 2 goats. Luke grinned. Cassie was glad he had another daughter. Maybe it helped soften the grief he carried for Irina just a little. Feeling her own sense of loss, she wondered what would ever have the power to soften her own deep sadness. Hearing an approaching vehicle, she turned and looked down the road. A large semi was headed in their direction. Here comes the cleanup crew now. Rom pointed to the truck. How many are on the team? Luke asked. 5 of our most trusted people. Cassie took a deep breath. Her lungs felt fine now. Are they Morvicti too? They are, Rom answered. The truck pulled into the driveway. The 3 men and the 2 women who exited the vehicle bowed to Rom and then quickly went to work putting out the fire. He's really a prince. 3 members of the crew pulled large water hoses from the sides of the truck. The other 2 brought out gurneys from the back. What kind of truck is that? She asked. One that is outfitted with whatever we need in this kind of situation, Cassie. Rom definitely had a ton of incredible resources at his disposal. The two moved the black masked man lying at Rom's feet onto the gurney. She was shocked when they brought a bag of blood to his lips. A Morvicti custom? There are 2 more inside, Luke told the leader of the team. 2 more down the road. There are also 2 Morvicti inside the yellow van. The man is one of the Brotherhood. The other is my sister. Leave her. She's coming with her daughter, Romulus, and me. Her mother's killer was taken out of Luke's van and moved to the semi. No longer hidden behind the black mask, she could see his face. Justice had been served today. He was dead. Wade was dead, along with the others. But there were more members of the Brotherhood still out there looking to kill innocent men, women, and children. Her heart broke as she remembered the last moments she'd been with her mother. Luke, I'd like to see my mom before we leave. As Rom continued directing his people to clean up the mess, he led her to the back of his van. Luke opened the doors. She'd been expecting to see a body bag, not her mother lying on a hospital bed, attached to an IV, receiving blood. Completely in shock, she asked, Is this some kind of Morvicti ritual? Why are you giving her blood? He looked confused. So she can heal. Now Cassie was completely confused. But Mom can't be alive. She had no heartbeat. She stopped breathing. She was sent to the morgue. Cassie entered the van and grabbed her mother's hand, once again checking for a pulse. Nothing. Tears stung her eyes and the guilt returned. It's all my fault. I'm so sorry, Mom. How can I enter the Morvicti world, your world, without you? She's dead, Luke. No pulse, no heartbeat. Luke moved beside her. You're wrong, sweetheart. Your mother's in slumber. Hold your fingers to her wrist and wait. She did as he instructed. Nothing happened. Wait for what? Hold on, Cassie. Trust me. Just be patient. She nodded and closed her eyes. A few seconds later, she felt a single beat. Oh my God. I felt a pulse. Wait, nothing now. Remember, your mother is in slumber. Some call it hyperhibernation. She told you about that, right? Some, but I never imagined it was like this. She's not breathing. She is. About a breath every 2 minutes, just like her pulse. She bent down close to her mother's lips, waiting to hear her breathe. You mean she will come back to me? Someday. I just can't tell you when. Every individual is different. Just like humans, our time of healing depends on many factors. Your mother's injury is quite severe, and her health. My mom was very healthy. She heard a single breath escape her mother's lips, and excitement shot through her. And we always ate fruits and vegetables. Will that help? Luke smiled. Yes, being healthy always helps. She hugged him, thrilled to have such a wonderful uncle. Let me give you a moment alone with your mom. Sometimes those in slumber remember what we say to them while they sleep, and it helps them to find their way back to us even quicker. After Luke left and closed the door, she leaned down and kissed her mother on the cheek. Oh, Mom, we have another chance. I always loved you, but I have to admit I thought you were a little crazy. But now I know everything you ever told me was true. Please forgive me and come back to me soon. I need you to help me in this new life. There's so much for me to learn. She felt another beat of her mother's heart, which gave her so much hope. I met your brother. Luke is wonderful, and he also can't wait for you to come back. And I met Rom. You never told me that we came from Morvicti royalty. Roxana was a queen. Oh my God, it's so incredible to think about. Please, Mom, hurry back to me. I miss you so much. She squeezed her mother's hand and left the van, amazed at how quickly Rom's crew had acted. The fire was completely out, and they were loading the last of the Brotherhood into the semi. Rom and Luke walked over to her. It's time to go to the airport, Cassie, Luke said. I'd like to ride in the back with Mom. Of course. She climbed inside. On the drive to Rom's private jet, she continued to check her mother's pulse and respirations. Like clockwork, they came every 2 minutes. Morvicti's slumber was miraculous. Softly, she whispered, I just wish O'Malley could have survived this too. Like you, Mom. But he was only human. Tears fell from her eyes, remembering the wonderful man who had given her the cup of bad coffee that first day on the Force. Rom had people waiting for them at his plane. 2 of them, a man and a woman dressed in medical attire, attended Cassie's mother immediately. Be careful with her, she told them. We will, the woman answered, offering her a kind smile. The meticulous way the 2 of them worked put Cassie at ease. She followed them inside the jet, glad to see them, making sure her mother was totally secure, ready for the flight. Rom and Luke also entered the cabin. Now that she knew her mother was in good hands, she looked around the interior of Rom's plane. It was definitely fit for a prince. The cabin had large leather chairs, rich wood accents, and soothing music played through the speakers. "Where do I sit?" she asked Rom. "Anywhere you want." "Thank you." She sat down by a window. "London?" Luke nodded. "We'll be there tomorrow. I've already called ahead to get your room ready at our estate." The word estate intrigued her. "And Mom?" "She has a place too. We have our own sanctuary at our home in London. That's where our slumbering loved ones rest." "Will I be able to visit her whenever I want?" "Every day for as long as you like." The pilot's voice came over the speakers. "Please have a seat and buckle up. We're cleared for takeoff." Luke and Rom sat down, as did her mother's attendants. The plane lifted off the runway into the sky. She didn't know exactly what her future would be, but realizing her mother would one day open her eyes again made Cassie excited to find out. Staring out the window at West Texas as it grew smaller and smaller down below, she wondered if she would ever return. The strange and unique path she was now on made it impossible for her to know. An image of O'Malley smiling and eating a Three Musketeers popped in her mind. "When the shit hits the fan, you'll know when you've grown a pair." She smiled. "I will never forget you, no matter how long I live. Goodbye, Dad." The end.
You've been listening to Morvicti Execution, Episode 8, Born of Blood. New episodes drop every Monday and Friday, or you can binge the full series early on patreon.com/Lee Swift. If you're enjoying the story, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell to stay in the loop. Thanks for listening. See you next time.